to another episode of Real Spiritual Clarity. Let's see what Spirit has in store for us tonight. And thank you, Spirit, for clear and concise messages. Thank you for letting us see, hear, and feel the things we need to in this reading. And the first card out is the Wheel of Fortune. Yep, the wheel is turning. And Divine Masculine is making his moves. He knows that there's a lot of other people vying for the Divine Feminine. He knows that a lot of times they may not even feel her anymore. It's been so long that they're starting to not feel Divine Feminine because they've waited a long time. It could be that she's being entertained by somebody else already. Okay? She could be leaving space in her heart for him, but she may be going already with someone else. But that doesn't mean that she's not going to give him a chance when he comes back. But she's not going to stop and not live her life. She's going to continue to live, because her life is still moving forward, and even though she loves him and she knows he loves her, she's going to continue to live because she's supposed to. Nobody's supposed to be waiting for anyone. You have to continue to live, and what's for you is going to come back to you. What isn't. And you're going to move forward. If that doesn't come, something else is going to come, But that's the Wheel of Fortune. And the next card out is the Lovers. It's so funny. I had another deck of cards tonight. And it was from a few readings ago. And I was putting the card back into the deck. And it was two of them. It was the, I think it was the Strength card, and it also was the Lovers. And I thought I grabbed both cards. So I grabbed the card and I went back and I put it in the deck. And then I turned around and the Lovers card is sitting right there. So Divine Masculine still loves Divine Feminine. This love is strong. That's what threw him off so much, because he may have met many people before her. And maybe he talked to them and he hung out with them or whatever. But nobody catches his attention like her. He's like, what is going on? Why is this happening like this? In this Lovers card, the angel is there. And actually, first time I ever noticed, the angel has a sword. So at this point, truth is all that is going to matter. He has to come in with the truth. He has to lay it out on the line, be vulnerable. Because, once he does that, she'll listen. She'll give him a chance. But a lot of them, if they want to come in playing a game, it's so funny because this is Adam and Eve on this Lovers card. So Adam and Eve were the first couple. And they loved each other, they cared for each other. They were put together divinely for each other. So Divine Masculine knows at this point that Divine Feminine is his divine counterpart. And he knows that he truly loves her, and he's never loved anybody like that before. So the love is very, very strong between them. And the only way he's going to get her back is to come in with the truth and become vulnerable, drop the ego. He has to drop that ego. And that was the Lovers. And now we're going to get another card, the next card. Thank you, Spirit. And two of them came out, and I'm going to take both. The first one that came out is, King of Cups. Once again, I told you the love is there. This is a guy who he loves her, but he doesn't say it. He wants to love her from afar, but there's no loving from afar at this point. You have to love her, and you have to come in and you have to, like I said, be vulnerable, drop the ego. There's a lot of pride and a lot of ego that was involved. A lot of these Divine Masculines wanted the Divine Feminine to chase them. And she said no. Maybe in the past she always did do that. She said, I'm not chasing anymore. She said, he loves me and I love him, but you know what? He's going to have to come to me. He's going to have to prove to me and show me that he truly cares and truly wants to be with me. If he doesn't do that, then I'm not going to do it. Okay, that was the King of Cups. And the final card, the Five of Pentacles. Because he feels left out in the cold. He's like, I'm left out in the cold now. Well, you wouldn't be if you would just become vulnerable, drop the ego, and come back to her. It's only a phone call away. It's only a knock on the door away. It's only a text away. And this is what has to happen because the time is now. You know, and you know what? Everything's not going to be perfect. You're going to always have to work on things with each other. But at least you'll be with each other. You'll start your relationship, and you'll love what's going on. Okay. And that was the After Tarot. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And please watch the full video because the message is throughout. And please listen, love, and forgive. And the first card out for the Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic is, because this is what he's going through, spiritual awakening. Okay? It says enlightenment, empathy, life lessons, and rebirth. Yeah. He's having towers in his life right now. Spirit is really showing him signs of synchronicities. You may see all these, numbers, 222, 333, 444, 55. I'm telling you, I'm constantly seeing them. I mean, it's unbelievable. 717, there's just 1111, so many different numbers. It could be in a movie. It could be me driving and I see a license plate. It could just be, I could hear it on the radio, anything. But that's spirit telling you that you guys are on the right path. But, you got to continue to do you. Continue to love yourself. Continue to care for yourself. And do the things that you need to do to raise your spirit. Each person has to raise their spirit because, that's what's going to work. It has to be positive. You can't walk around saying, oh, she's gone and nothing I can do. No. Brush yourself off. If you truly want the person, step out. Step out, out of your comfort zone, become vulnerable, and take that leap of faith towards her, because drop all that pride and ego, because that's not going to help you in the end. You're going to be in a cold bed by yourself because you were in so much pride and ego. And that was spiritual awakening. And the next card out is, because this is what he wants. He wants to take her on a date, a proper date. It could be that previous to that, he would, come over and they'd have fun and then he'd go. But he knows at this point, she wants to go on a proper date. It says courting, dating, anniversaries, and meeting up. So he knows that he wants to go on a proper date and he knows she wants to go on a proper date. So it could be that he's setting up this date, how he's going to take her, how he's going to do it, because he wants her to be impressed. There's pride, but that pride's not bad. But the pride where, you say, no, I want her to call me, forget that. It's been a long time. If you love the person, you care for the person, you want the person in your life, pick up the phone, text them, call them, or knock on their door, and get the thing going. Haste makes waste, but if you never move, nothing's ever going to happen. Like they always say, in the graveyards, there's a lot of books, movies, transcripts, all kind of things that people had ideas to do and they never did it. Don't go to the grave saying that I wish I would have come back to her and talked to her and find out how this would have worked out. Because you know how you feel now, just do it. Okay? And the next Love Oracle Simplistic Mystic is, this is what's holding him back. Fear. Okay? It says he's afraid, uneasy, suspicious, and scared. Okay? But like I said, some of that fear is ego and pride. And you got to drop it. You got to become vulnerable. You have to let her know that you want her, you care for her, and you want her back in your life. And the fear is not going to help you. Fear is false evidence appearing real. So these things are not real that you're thinking in your head. A lot of overthinking, which is not necessary. Come back, drop the ego, become vulnerable, and become that loving, caring person for yourself as well as for her. Okay. And now we're going to see what he would say to her if he had her in front of him with these heart-shaped fortune cards, love oracles. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment so you know when I'm on here. There's a lot of them, but I'm not taking that many. I want one at a time, Spirit. And there's the first one. First one out is, it says, I can't hold back any longer. I told you. These things are coming. These people are coming. These divine masculines, they're coming because they know. They know how they feel. You know, they're worried. They're scared. They feel like they're left out in the cold. They have fear. But you know what? In order for something to work, you gotta make yourself available. You know, stop finding all the fault and all the problems and everything, and step forward and do what you need to do. Just heard that other phone, and that was a text. So text her, call her, come knock on the door. Okay? And the next love oracle heart-shaped card is, can we work this out? Of course you can. But in order for you to work it out, you got to step forward. You know, this is what this reading is saying. Become vulnerable, step forward, drop the fear so you can come in from the cold. Okay? And yes, it can be worked out, but you got to talk first. Can't just sit there and overthink it in your head and say, oh, I wonder if I did this, if that would work. I wonder if I did that, if that would work. No. The time for thinking is over. The time for action is now. Okay? It says, I know I was a fool, but I'm truly sorry. Yeah, some of them want to come in with these apologies, you know, because they are sorry. You know, they found the errors of their ways. It took them to lose you in order for them to understand, I should have done this a while ago. You know, this is the person for me. This is the person that was loyal to me, cared about me, wanted me. So why did I go through all of this? Okay, they're going to be coming back with an apology, saying, I'm sorry. You know, I shouldn't have did it like that. You know, and you know what? Everybody had to learn lessons. I'm not trying to beat him up like crazy, but you know, at this point, stop overthinking and just make the move. And the final love oracle, heart shape part 2 is, I somehow trust you. Of course, he trusts you. You're the loyal person. He could have been with all these other people and they weren't loyal to him. And through this separation, if you guys aren't together now, he's seen these other people. He's seen their actions, seen the people that they are. And they were not truthful people. They were liars. They were cheats. All they would around, a lot of them were around him to see what they could get from him, you know, or what he could do for them. You know, they didn't care about him. You know, if he couldn't do anything for them, they didn't really need him. He said, okay, no problem. See ya. You know, but he finds out that Divine Feminine, she was around him and for him all the time. Now we're going to be using some of these romance angels. And the first card out is getting to know each other. It says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. In order for you to get to know each other, Divine Masculine has to come back. You have to show up. Okay? Can't know anybody from afar. You got to actually speak to them and see them and talk to them. Okay? So he's coming back so he can get to know his Divine Feminine. And the next romance angel is way too many. Just one card, Spirit. These cards are little and sometimes they're a little crazy. And the next romance angel is, yeah, because this is what he did. He retreated. And through that retreat, he had to go through those lessons in those towers. And he's found out at this point that the only person that he wants to truly commit to is his Divine Feminine. It says it's time to disconnect from the world. Get rid of all those outside influences and come back to the person who truly means something to you. Okay? It says retreat. And you notice they have a wedding dress. She has a wedding dress on and he has like a tux. Like they're getting married. Okay? Whether it's a marriage, whether it's committing to each other, whatever it is, he wants to solidify this relationship with Divine Feminine. Okay? And the next romance angel is Please like, subscribe, share, and comment so you know when I'm on here. Like I said, please watch the full video because his messages were out. And the next romance angel is give your relationship a chance. It says work on your partnership. Yep. You see that, right? So Divine Masculine knows, like, at this point, the only thing he can do is come back and open this line of communication with his Divine Feminine again and go forward. You know, the time is now. There's no more like, I don't know, I should do this. Should I do it? Should I do this? Don't talk to these people. Don't listen to anybody else. Follow your heart and come back. Stop. Everything's not logical. Some of them are very logical. They're very like thinkers. But sometimes you got to throw all that stuff to the wayside and you just got to make that move for yourself. And that's the only way you'll be making your way back to your Divine Feminine. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Spirit for letting us see, hear, and feel the things we need to in this reading. When you guys have these heart-to-heart conversations, please listen. Please listen intently. Please love unconditionally, and please forgive. I love all you guys. Have a great day. Bye.